Welcome to ranking Honkai Star Rail characters by their crimes. I just finished 2.4's Trailblaze mission. Classic jailbreak plotline. It really got me thinking, like, which of these characters would be in and out of jail in the real world? Speaking of which, our categories for today, we have life sentence, spent a few years in prison, a regular at the local jail, arrested once, good noodle, no sentence, and they're the one putting people in jail. All right, starting off with the Trailblazers. I firmly believe that they are both regulars at the local county jail. You know, they're not going to prison. They are digging through trash cans constantly, smacking people upside the head with a baseball bat. They're not afraid to get up to some debauchery for the greater good, and that's inevitably going to lead to them being in a jail cell once in a while. Arlen, I think he was arrested once. He got into something he shouldn't have on the dark web, holding back tears when the cop shows up at his doorstep. Asta, vaguely good noodle, no sentence. Definitely laughed at Arlen when he got arrested. Even if she did do something illegal, I feel like she'd pay her way out of it. Bailu, also arrested once. Got pulled away kicking and screaming. You'll never take me alive, coppers! Bronya, 100% putting people in jail. She is the law. I feel like she's that girl who buys all her music on iTunes because she's afraid to download anything illegally. It's against the law. Clara, arrested once because she wasn't wearing shoes and went to like a store. Svarhog shows up at the jail later. Where's Clara? Either that or she was meddling around in like a robot scrapyard and got caught. Danhung, I'm gonna say he was arrested once. Yes, he's hanging around with the Trailblazer. He's not always with them. He kind of hangs back a little bit more often. If this happened to him one time, he'd be like, never again. I will never let that happen again. That was so inconvenient. Japard, also throwing people in jail. He does not have a law-breaking bone in his body. Herta, she probably would spend a few years in prison if she ever got caught for anything. I don't think it's quite life sentence territory. Tax evasion, money laundering, I don't know. Himiko, I'm gonna say arrested once in her youth. She was attending a protest and got arrested. Nowadays, she just lays it kind of low. She's the lady who's bailing her friends out of jail. Hook, regular at the local jail. She feels like someone who's like, F the pigs! And everyone's like, whoa, who taught you how to say that? March 7th, also arrested once with Danhung and the Trailblazer. She's also giving good noodle energy, but when you're hanging around with Trailblazer and they're regulars at the local jail, you're gonna get caught up in it once or twice. Natasha, she is like a nurse in the underground, which feels suspicious. She was the leader of a rebel organization. A little bit of shady behavior, a few years in prison. Pela, while yes, she is in a band. Oh, she's so hardcore. I think she's a good noodle, no sentence. Tingta, time theft at work. Is that a prisonable offense? For now, no. Sampo Koski. Do we think he's a regular at the local jail, or is he like actually spending a few years in prison? I think he's actually gonna spend a few years in prison. Further investigation required. Like, he could easily get bumped up to life sentence depending on what his problem is, but for now, benefit of the doubt, we're putting him right there. The line between being mildly shady and being a full-blown crime boss is very thin. Serval, arrested once. She got into a fight at a rock show. Sushang, unless trampling someone with your chicken is a crime, I'm gonna say good noodle, no sentence. Tingyun, oh my god. She's so hard to rank because Fantilia was a parasite and she's the one who's causing problems. Few years in prison, but it probably wasn't her fault. Well, Yang, good noodle, no sentence. He's also bailing people out of jail. In fact, he probably bailed Himiko out the one time she got arrested. Himiko. Yenching, also putting people in jail. He's the assistant. Zila, I think she's a regular at the local jail for getting into scraps all the time. Yeah, whatever, I've been here before. She gets put in jail and Bronya bails her out every single time. I cannot keep doing this, Zila. She's been a regular at the local jail since she was a little kid, probably, honestly. Jing Yuan, he is putting people in jail as well, despite the current storyline where people are trying to Uno reverse him. Silver Wolf, okay, she's up here. She's up here somewhere. What is her bounty? I know Kafka and Blade have a pretty big bounty. Okay, I just did some research. Apparently, Silver Wolf's bounty is 5.1 billion, Blade's is 8.13 billion, and Kafka's is 10 billion. Dude, I'm sorry, but all three of these are going up into life sentence for how big their bounties are alone. Also, it looks like Firefly, aka Sam's bounty, is 9.7 billion, more than Blade and Silverwolf. Hello? So does that mean she's also going in for a life sentence? Oh god. Anyway, Locha also going in for a life sentence, most probably. To be fair, we don't know for sure. I mean, he definitely feels more devious than like Herta, Natasha, Sampo. Yeah, I'm gonna put him up in life sentence as well. Yukong. She definitely got arrested once again in her youth because she was getting up to debauchery. Probably for the greater good, but the cops don't care. Luca. I think he's a local at the regular jail. He's like, hey, Sila, what's up? Ugh, great. Imbiber Lune, life sentence. Also, I know this is Don Hung Imbiber Lune and not his past incarnation, but shush, it's okay. Fushen, putting people in jail. Lynx, good noodle, no sentence. I don't think she's gotten too far into it yet. Jingliu, also life sentence. What is going on all of a sudden? That category's gotten so thick. Topaz, okay, so she works for the IPC, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she's putting people in jail, or is she? It says a debt collector can't threaten to or have you arrested for an unpaid debt. They can sue you, and if you fail to comply with court orders, you can get jail time. That being said, I feel like her antics will result in people going to jail, so I guess I'll put her there. Gunaifen, I think her and the Ghostbusters have been arrested once on accident, again because breaking and entering into private property, trespassing, or taking video and streaming where it explicitly tells you you're not supposed to do that. Argenti, I think he was arrested once purely from like a misunderstanding. He's over here yammering about beauty and flirting with plans. Someone got freaked out and called the cops. This is a simple misunderstanding. He seems like that kind of guy where he'd be in the overnight jail and he just like inspires all the other people that are in the prison cell with him. You all have beauty within. You just need to see it. Hanya, putting people in jail. I'm gonna put her at the top of the category. She is a judge of the 10 Lords Commission. That is like in her job description. Ron May. Oh no. Few years in prison, life sentence. I don't trust her. I think she's going in for life. Dr. Ratio. Good noodle, no sentence. He would outwit his way out of ever getting arrested. He would find a loophole and it would not happen. Other than that, he seems like a pretty lawful person. Shui, also putting people in jail right next to her sister. Black Swan. Shady business. I'm also gonna say a few years in prison. Sparkle. Okay, she's literally planting bombs left and right. Does that justify her being a life sentencer, or is she just spending a few years in prison? I'm gonna put her at the very top, a few years in prison. I'm gonna say that she can get out after like 10 years or so, but more than some of these other people in this category. Misha, as he is right now. Mr. Misha, good noodle, no sentence. Acheron, unfortunately, I feel like she would also be in for a life sentence given how many people she's murked in her life. Aventurine, I'm gonna say a few years in prison for him as well. Not quite life sentence worthy. One of the more chaotic IPC members. Gallagher, he is a security officer with the Bloodhound Gang, but he's also a mixologist. He seems like that rogue cop who's been arrested once or twice in his past, but then he like turned a new leaf and became a cop here, but like also here, you know what I'm saying? Robin, absolutely good noodle, no sentence. Has potential to get in some shady dealings one of these days though, I can see it. Boot Hill, I don't think he's going to prison, but he's definitely a regular at the local jail, whipping the pistol out at anybody who looks at him funny. Him and Zila are getting at it at the local county jail on a Thursday evening. Hook is in the back eating popcorn. Trailblazers are trying to break it up and Luca's in the back like clapping. Whoa! Give him a left! Give him a left! Local at the regular jail sounds like where the party's at. Jade. Okay, this one is also tricky because technically she's probably putting people in jail, but I think she has a lot of skeletons in her closet and she's gonna be spending a few years in prison. I'm gonna put her pretty high up here. If she were to ever get caught, which I think is highly unlikely at this point. Yunli, I think she's been arrested once for getting in a scrap with Yanqing. Wait a minute, he's putting people in jail though. Ooh, but maybe he got arrested once too. Well, his day job is putting people in jail, but like Jing Yuan is the one who's really doing it. I'm moving Yecheng to arrested once, solely because of a single scrap with Yunli. And finally, we have the newest character in 2.4, Xiaote. On the surface, he seems pretty chill, but he's definitely had some dialogue options where he sounds a little sus.
I know a thing or two about killing.
He's a healer, but I feel like he's willing to go to great lengths to heal his patients, so he might spend a couple years in prison. He seems like he might have popped a few caps, you know what I'm saying? Or he participates in questionable medicinal methods. I mean, look at him, he's got that smirk. He's devious. I know there's a few other characters in 2.4 that I could be talking about, but since they're not officially playable yet, and the story is not concluded, I felt like I wasn't quite qualified to organize them yet. I think I feel pretty good about this, and I love the fact that a majority of the cast has been arrested at least once. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what your personal headcanons are in the comments down below. And also let me know if you have any other future Honkai Star Rail tier lists you'd like for me to make. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye!